Welcome back to Grade 8 Geography, Unit Number 2, Global Inequalities, Economic Development, and Quality of Life. This is Lesson Number 22, How are we trying to improve quality of life? It might sometimes feel like there's nothing that can be done to help people with a lower quality of life, but this is not true. A growing number of people are trying to create change that will one day result in social inequalities no longer existing. These people are working towards social justice, which means equal justice, rights, and opportunities for all. And you may have seen this young lady's face on the news in the past year. Malala Yousafzai has become an inspirational young hero in the fight to end gender inequality in education. It just goes to show you that you don't have to be in your 40s or above to be a leader and bring about positive change. People your age are very capable of influencing the leaders of some of the more powerful countries in the world. The goal of global development is not to give everyone the same quality of life. Rather, the goal is to provide greater equity in quality of life. Equity means treating everyone fairly and respectfully. Equity also means that everyone gets what they need to resolve the issues they face. For example, a child living in poverty will probably be less healthy than a child who is more fortunate. The child living in poverty will be given help in the form of free transit fare to go to a doctor, free membership in sports programs, or programs that provide healthy food. I just like this image here showing that with equality, you can give all three people the exact same thing, but it's not going to help all three people. With equity, you're giving people what they need in order that they have an equal chance to succeed. So, yes, these two boys here are getting something extra, but it doesn't mean that they have a greater advantage than this young man over here. They're just all having success on the same level. That's equity. Individuals and countries can work together to achieve greater equity in global development. One way to help countries in need is to give development aid. Development aid is money or other assistance given to support long term economic, environmental, social, and political development. Here's a question. Why do you think some developing countries receive more development aid than others? The United Nations, or UN, promotes peace and security between countries. It also provides humanitarian aid, resources, and support to save lives and relieve suffering for those who are living in countries that have been ravaged by wars, famine, or natural disasters. The UN has many agencies and programs to support a variety of global development goals. In 2000, the UN wrote 8 Millennium Development Goals to promote equity and global development. All 193 member countries agreed to work toward these goals. Their aim is to meet these goals by the end of 2015. In our next lesson, we are going to see how successful the UN has been in reaching these goals. I'll just read them here quickly. Eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. Achieve universal primary education. So, primary education for everyone around the world. Promote gender equality and empower women. reduce child mortality, improve maternal health, combat HIV, AIDS, malaria, and other diseases, ensure environmental sustainability, and global partnership for development. So, something to consider is how many of these goals do you think we've been successful in achieving? And on the opposite side, which goals do we still need to work towards? Donor countries, countries that give aid to others, may choose to provide direct aid. Direct aid is aid that the donor gives directly to the country in need. The donor country gets to choose how the aid will be used. The aid may go directly to governments, organizations, or citizens. Direct aid can be given in different forms: food, water, books, computers, healthcare supplies, or funds. Direct aid can also come in the form of experts who train and advise citizens of a country in need. Recipient countries, countries that receive aid, can also benefit from indirect aid. Indirect aid is aid that the recipient country chooses how to use. For example, recipient countries may choose to use the money given to them for building infrastructure, such as medical clinics, or for growing crops. People who do not work for the government or for the UN can help by joining or donating to a non-governmental organization. A non-governmental organization, or NGO, is a non-profit voluntary group of citizens that is formed for a common interest. An NGO is not connected to any country or government. NGOs come in all sizes, from a few people to thousands of people working across the globe. Some NGOs collect funds within one community, while larger NGOs collect funds from a number of countries. NGOs collect donations from individuals, governments, or even the UN. The goal of all NGOs is to improve the quality of life in their country or in other countries. And this diagram just shows you the logos for a variety of non-governmental organizations. And no doubt your eye is going to this one here, World Vision, who we support every year through the 30-hour famine. They are a non-governmental organization. Businesses make up the private sector. The private sector is the part of the economy that is not directly controlled by the government. While the private sector's goal is to make as high a profit as possible, it still plays an important role in global development efforts. Businesses in developed countries can provide the money and the expertise needed to manage large projects and build infrastructure in developing nations. Private sector companies often donate computers to NGOs, which then send the computers to developing countries. Technicians from private sector businesses may also volunteer to go to developing nations to help teach children and adults how to use the technology that has been donated. All right, so we are going to end this video by recapping the key terms that we learned in this video. So what you need to do is, when I'm finished talking, please put the video on pause so then you can read each statement and consider which words are hidden under the blue boxes. If you don't feel comfortable with doing this activity right now, go back, watch this video at least 2 more times, and then give this activity a try because we will go over it in tomorrow's class. So put the video on pause now. All right, and until our next class, this concludes today's video.